We've discussed what makes a good follower, a functional follower, but what makes an immersive follower? What makes a follower feel alive, feel real, feel like they're helping you, adventuring with you, traveling with you? What makes them feel real? Well, I just finished BioShock Infinite for the umpteenth time, and Elizabeth is a very strong companion mechanically, but in the mid-game and certainly by the end, she doesn't feel real. She doesn't feel like a human being. She only helps you mechanically, and when she's gone, you hardly notice, because outside cutscenes, she hardly contributed anything. And I feel this way about most followers, most companions. But then I met Inigo, and I felt something revitalized in me I hadn't felt in a long time. Something distinctly missing in most followers. Presence. Existence. Your follower existing with you. Inigo, this modded follower, this community creation, has presence. Is more present than any follower in any game I've played thus far. But why? What makes Inigo feel real? What makes Inigo so immersive, especially when compared with every other game's followers? Including Skyrim's. Well, it's a mixture of subtle friend signals and context. But you guys know me, I fucking love context, so let's start there. Inigo is an indigo Khajiit who claims he killed you. Or at least tried. And whether you want this to be fact or fiction, whether you want Inigo to tie into your character's backstory or not, is completely up to you. He's a good tool, he's a good toy, he's a good addition to your character. There if you want him to be, but he's not required. He fits in fluidly. But he's not just some shitty addition who exists solely for you. He supplements you, but has a story of his own. Again, allowing him to fit into your character's life or not. This independence, his life, gives him agency. And this agency builds his presence. He is with you because he chooses to be with you. And his agency gives him that choice. And that choice is why he feels present. He doesn't feel like Uthgerd or Lydia, who exist because of you, for you, with maybe one distinguishing trait and a generic voice. Whereas Inigo exists because of a series of bad choices leading up to this point. And those bad choices, his life, his experiences, his struggles influence how he thinks, influence what he does. And he's a deep character with an intricate personality. He likes singing, improvised singing, and he'll certainly sing for you, but not songs he's written down, because those songs are special to him and he wants to sing them in a special place, specifically the Bard's College. That trait and hobby has nothing to do with you, and the fact that he's protective of his songs builds his agency and thus further builds his presence. And whether or not you want to explore that section of Inigo is completely up to you. Again, fluidity. This is how you would interact with a real person. If you're a musical person or just care about Inigo, you'll certainly want to see where his music goes. You'll want to help him flesh it out and hear it. But if you aren't and you don't, then you won't. Because you don't give a shit. Which is perfectly fine. Again, that ties into him feeling real. Your friend might be really into spirit cooking, but that doesn't mean you want to have anything to do with it. So that's just one example of how his personality and story build context and work fluidly with you and your character and your story. But before we move on to friend signals, let's look a little bit more into his context. Not just his personality, but how you find him and work with him in the world. When you first meet Inigo, he's naked in a cell. And the first thing you want to do is find him some clothes. I don't know about you, but I don't carry around multiple sets of armor and clothes. So I immediately started nicking stuff from the guards. Which was neat because my character started out as a thief, but transitioned to magic the more wealthy he became. But here, to help Inigo, I had to fall back on skills I hadn't used in a long time. And I don't know about you, but that feels immersive as heck, my guy. Your past influencing your future. Ooh, it's almost like that actually happens. And it's almost like Inigo is doing the exact same thing. Ooh. Are you seeing the connection here? Two independent people with agency working together because they choose to. And obviously this is just a game and free will is a fucking myth, but it feels immersive, you know? God, gotta get that immersion, and I gotta say, Inigo has it in spades, because he ties into you. So we've got that out of the way. Let's move on to friend signals. and how Inigo uses them to build rapport with you. Now, for those who don't know, a friend signal is a term coined by Jack Schaefer in his book The Like Switch, meaning any subtle, positive, friendly gesture. And we use friend signals unconsciously every day. In fact, if I were to list them, you'd probably recognize them immediately. And once you learn to recognize them and use them consciously, you can have much stronger control over how you're perceived by others. This is a phenomenal book, definitely in my top 10, and I strongly recommend you read it. But Inigo consciously uses friend signals to build his relationship with you and further build his agency. For example, Mr. Dragonfly.
Mr. Dragonfly says he would rather travel with me. It is not personal. He and I go way back.
Now pay attention to what he just did. He asked you a small favor and further built his personality. What you should key in on is the small favor. Small favors are strong friend signals, because when they acquiesce, they subconsciously rationalize that aiding you makes them your friend. You want to try something crazy easy to see how effective this is? Go to a bar, get into a conversation with somebody, then ask them to hold your drink so you can use the restroom. When you get back, thank them and then go right back into whatever you were talking about. You just gave them an opportunity to feel good about themselves. And people love feeling good about themselves. Everyone is the center of their own universe, and anything you can do to improve their perception of themselves will make them like you more. By asking you to give him Mr. Dragonfly back, Inigo gives you the opportunity to consciously be nice to him and feel good about yourself. As a companion and as a person, this makes you like him more right off the bat. And as a supporting character in a game, this is particularly effective because, like I said, everyone is the center of their own universe, and in a game, you are literally the center of the universe. It's like feel-good Inception. And he uses many of these friend signals to the same effect later on, suggesting you give him his choose-your-own-adventure book so he can read it to you, or suggesting you guys sit down and talk, unlocking new conversation topics. These all contribute to not only making you like him, but also making him feel like a real person. Friend signals are genetic, unconscious, and very powerful, but rarely so masterfully built into a character's design. So in summary, Inigo's mixture of personality, agency, and well-placed friend signals all make him feel real, like a true person, making him immersive. When I first started using Inigo, after all the stuff happened, getting him out of prison, nicking the stuff, remembering being a thief originally, and noticing some of the small, subtle friend signals he was putting off, and other conversation pieces, and learning about him a bit more, I was definitely interested in learning more, and I was excited to see what else would come of him, and I figured the best way to learn more about him was to start adventuring with him, to start spending time with him. And I got out into Riften's Plaza, and I started running for the notice board. And I heard his boots that I stole for him, clinkety-clanking behind me. And I turned around and he was following me with his with his Riften hide cloak and dorky-looking outfit, just because it was all random thrown together. And I forgot exactly what he said, but he made a comment about Riften. And I thought, wow, this guy is really here. For a second there, it felt like I was playing a co-op game with a friend. He felt like a real person, which is a feeling I haven't felt about a follower in a long time, probably since Dawnguard first released and I used Serana, who was mind-blowing at the time. And that's when I decided I needed to analyze why I had this feeling about Inigo, but not about any of the other followers I'd used up to that point, or any followers from any of the other games I've played in the last year. So huge props to Inigo's creators. And to any developers, anyone who's writing a book, anybody who's making a game, take notes. This is how you make a good supporting character. And that'll about wrap it up. That'll about do it, boys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We have a phenomenally wonderful, good time on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you. Like if you enjoyed, comment, say some gay shit about some followers you love in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And again, subscribe if you haven't, because I would love to have you here. We have videos weekly, and again, we have a phenomenal time. Thanks again for watching. And a big update for the real OGs. We got hit with a community guidelines strike after the ukulele video, which really sucked because they don't tell you what they took your video down for, so you can't do anything to correct it. And it's scary moving forward, because what if somebody chooses to report all of your older videos and your channel is just nuked? I don't have a huge following, so if I go down, a year and a half worth of work goes down with it. So if this video feels lower quality, it's because I've put less work into it. That's honesty. But it's because I've been really discouraged and I've been getting hit with life pretty hard recently. But fortune favors the bold. Mama didn't raise no bitch, so we're just gonna keep chugging along. But I am putting safety measures in place. I started up a VidMe account. If you don't know what VidMe is, it's the YouTube alternative, which could potentially overthrow YouTube. They're all about free speech and creators first. For now. But go follow me over there, go sub over there, because that's the backup channel. That's the backup location. But it might become the primary location if we can get the community grown large enough. And I would like to transition, so I don't have to upload and live in fear. Live in fear of my dream being taken from me. Because this is all I'm really living for right now, is entertaining people, making them happy. And I'm terrified of YouTube taking the one reason I have to live away from me. Really makes life a little scary. But things will be okay. We're playing the long game here. And as long as I can make one person happy, then everything's all good. So yeah, go follow me on the VidMe. Let's get the best goddamn community on the line going, because I am so excited you're here, and I'm looking forward to being with you and doing stuff in the future. Thanks again. You guys are the best. You the real MVPs, my boys.